Well, crowds have been gathering outside the U.S. Supreme Court in what could be a turning point in history.
Yeah, today the High Court will hear arguments in a constitutional challenge to California's Proposition 8, the ban on same-sex marriage. KTLA's Stephen Chase has a preview.
In Washington, D.C., rain, snow, and the blistering cold aren't stopping crowds from forming outside the U.S. Supreme Court, a day before justices take up the hot-button issue of same-sex marriage.
As a gay American, I think it's very important to be a part of history.
Beginning Tuesday, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments for and against California's Prop 8. The same-sex marriage ban was passed by voters in 2008, but then struck down by a federal judge in San Francisco 2 years later. Opponents say the constitutional amendment is discriminatory.
When we talk about fundamental rights as it relates to the Constitution, we are talking about those rights that we as a nation designated as being some of the most sacred of all the rights we can have. And 14 times, the United States Supreme Court has described marriage as a fundamental right.
An associate law professor at Loyola Law School says the Supreme Court could take several rounds on the California law. They could rule Prop 8 supporters did not have the right to appeal the ruling of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Doing so would uphold the court's decision to allow same-sex couples to once again marry in California.
Or they could do something broader, which could be as broad as saying that all state laws that restrict marriage for same-sex couples are unconstitutional. Or something saying that states that allow same-sex couples to form domestic partnerships and civil unions but withhold the term marriage can't continue to do that and must allow same-sex couples to marry.
The court will also hear arguments against the Defense of Marriage Act, which is a federal law defining marriage as a union between a man and a woman.
A lot of them are going to be suspicious of the federal government's rare intervention in defining marriage.
A new poll out today shows same-sex marriage is gaining support in American households and that gay lifestyles are more prominent. The CNN poll shows this year 57% of people say they have a family member or friend who's gay, compared to 2007's numbers of just 45%. A similar increase is seen in the number of people who now support same-sex marriage as compared to just 6 years ago.
The country is becoming younger, more racially and ethnically diverse, and that's reflected in the support for marriage equality that we're seeing.